My name is Diego, and I was there when Rachel's story changed forever. It was a chilly evening on October 15th, when a mere $200 transaction would unravel the fabric of his life. Rachel, a gentle soul with a heart of gold, stood in the dim light of that downtown cafe, reminiscing about the love he shared with his ex-wife as he prepared for his son's upcoming wedding. The thought of his son, glowing with joy as he exchanged vows with his beautiful bride, filled Rachel with a bittersweet sense of nostalgia. He stood there, a smile on his face, but beneath it lay a storm of emotions. His heart raced as he clutched the table, feeling the world around him shift. The air was thick with the smell of rain on pavement, mingling with the distant hum of traffic, while the bitter sting of betrayal hung heavy in the atmosphere. He smiled but trembled, caught between hope and despair, grappling with the conflicting feelings of joy for his son and the pain of his own unraveling past. How can blood turn to poison like this? What nobody knew was that the truth hidden beneath the surface would shatter everything he believed about love and loyalty just days before witnessing his son embark on a new chapter with the woman of his dreams. The morning sun filtered through the leaves in Rachel's backyard, casting dappled shadows on the grass as she flipped pancakes on the griddle. The scent of maple syrup wafted through the air, mingling with the earthy aroma of rain-soaked pavement, remnants of last night's storm. Rachel felt a flicker of hope in her chest as she prepared breakfast for her son, Tyler, and his fiancée, Mia. This was supposed to be a happy time, a celebration of their love. As she poured the batter, she could hear the distant hum of traffic, a reminder of the world outside her small sanctuary. Rachel's heart swelled with pride at the thought of the wedding. She had envisioned this day since Tyler was a little boy, always dreaming of the moment he would find someone special. "Mom, do you need any help?" Tyler called from the patio, his voice laced with warmth. "No, sweetie, just finish setting the table," Rachel replied, her smile brightening as she imagined the joy of their family gathered together. But as she turned to grab more plates, a soft murmur caught her attention. It was Mia, chatting animatedly with her mother, Olivia. Rachel strained to hear their conversation, the excitement in the air palpable. But then she froze as she caught a phrase that sent a chill down her spine. "Overbearing mothers," Mia said dismissively, her tone dripping with disdain. "I can't believe how controlling she is. It's like she thinks she's planned the whole thing." Rachel's heart sank. "Oh my God," she whispered to herself, the weight of the words crashing down like an unexpected wave. This was not how it was supposed to be. She had poured her love and energy into helping Mia and Tyler with the wedding, convinced that she was embracing a new daughter into the family, only to hear this. Her thoughts raced back to the countless hours spent picking out flowers, arranging seating charts, and crafting the perfect menu. "I just want them to be happy," she murmured, feeling the sting of betrayal. Ethan, her brother, strolled into the backyard, his expression one of feigned indifference. "What's going on?" he asked, raising an eyebrow, clearly sensing the shift in Rachel's demeanor. "Nothing," she replied, forcing a smile, but the tremor in her voice betrayed her. "Just busy with the wedding plans." "Busy or overwhelmed?" Ethan smirked, his jealousy of Rachel's close bond with Tyler surfacing in his words. "You know, you could let Mia take the reins. It's her wedding too." Rachel shot him a sharp look, the tension in the air thickening. "I'm just trying to help," she said, her voice a bit too firm. "This is a big day for them." "Right, but it's not about you, Rachel," he replied, a hint of condescension creeping into his tone. "Just remember that." She felt her cheeks flush with anger and hurt, but before she could respond, David appeared at the doorway, his presence like a breath of fresh air. "Hey everyone, smells amazing in here," he said, grinning widely. He turned to Rachel. "Need an extra hand?" "Always," she replied, grateful for his unwavering support. David had always been there for her, encouraging her to stand tall against the tides of family drama. As they set the table together, Rachel's thoughts returned to Mia's words. Thought. The smell of pancakes brought painful memories. She had been so eager to welcome Mia into their lives, but now she felt a wall rising between them, a barrier she hadn't anticipated. "Rachel?" David asked, his voice softening. "You okay?" "Just hearing things," she admitted, trying to shake off the heaviness. "I thought this would be a joyous occasion, you know?" "It can still be," he reassured her, placing a comforting hand on her shoulder. "You deserve to enjoy this moment too." But the unease lingered. Rachel stole a glance towards Mia and Olivia, who were laughing together, their bond seemingly effortless. Cultural reflection. In the backyard, it hurt like hope. The image twisted in her mind, a bittersweet reminder of what she had hoped for. "Rachel?" Tyler called again, interrupting her thoughts. "Mia wants to know if you can help with the centerpieces later." "Sure, I'll be there," she replied, forcing a smile as she tried to mask the turmoil brewing inside her. The idea of helping with centerpieces felt trivial now, a band-aid on a deeper wound. As the morning wore on, the laughter continued, but Rachel's heart felt heavier with each passing moment. She had devoted herself to her son's happiness, but at what cost? The morning had started with hope, but now it felt like she was standing on the edge of something she couldn't quite grasp, watching as the future she envisioned slipped further away. The pancakes were ready, and she served them with a forced cheerfulness, but deep down she knew the path ahead was fraught with challenges she hadn't anticipated. And as she watched Mia and Olivia share another laugh, Rachel could feel the tension tightening around her, a prelude to the storm that was brewing just beneath the surface. Rachel gazed out the window. "What a beautiful day," she whispered. Olivia noticed her distant look. "You seem lost in thought." The sun hung high in the sky, casting warm beams across the backyard, where Rachel had spent countless hours preparing for her son's wedding. The smell of fresh grass wafted through the air, mingling with the sweet scent of the pancakes she had just finished flipping. With a full plate in hand, she paused to take it all in. The decorations she meticulously chose, the flowers blooming vibrantly, and the laughter of family members mingling with the distant hum of traffic. It was supposed to be a day of joy, a celebration of love, and yet a knot tightened in her stomach. "Mom, can you believe it? The big day is almost here!" Tyler, her son, exclaimed, his eyes sparkling with excitement. "It's happening, isn't it?" Rachel replied, forcing a smile even as her heart sank. She felt a flicker of worry, a feeling she couldn't quite shake off. The wedding was a culmination of her dreams for Tyler, yet she sensed an undercurrent of tension that threatened to overshadow it. Later that afternoon, while Rachel arranged the last of the centerpieces, her phone buzzed. It was a message from David, her loyal friend. "Hey Rachel, just heard some chatter that Emma wants to take full control of the wedding planning. Thought you should know." Rachel's fingers trembled as she read the message, her heart racing. "Emma? The bride? Oh my God, I can't believe this," she muttered under her breath. She had poured her soul into every detail, and now it seemed like her contributions were being dismissed. In that moment, the weight of her sacrifices crashed down on her. Cultural reflection. In the backyard, it hurt like strength. All those late nights she spent planning, the emotional labor of making sure everything was perfect, and now it felt like it was slipping through her fingers. "Rachel?" It was Ethan, her brother. He approached with a cautious look, eyes narrowing as if he could sense the storm brewing within her. "You okay? You seem off." "I just found out Emma wants to take over the wedding planning," Rachel replied, trying to keep her voice steady. "Can you believe it?" Ethan shrugged, feigning indifference. "I mean, it is her wedding. Maybe she just wants to make it special in her own way." Rachel's frustration bubbled over. "Special? You mean taking credit for everything I've done? I don't think so." The words felt like an unexpected release. Yet she could see the flicker of jealousy in Ethan's eyes, an emotion she had grown all too familiar with. "Maybe you should let her," he shot back, the edge in his voice unmistakable. "You've been controlling everything for years. Why change now?" Rachel clenched her fists, the anger igniting within her. "Controlling? Is that what you think? I'm trying to support my son and his future wife. You think I'm doing this for me?" Before Ethan could respond, David appeared, his presence grounding. "Hey, Rachel, I heard what's going on. You need to talk to Tyler about this. He deserves to know how you feel." "Talk to Tyler?" Rachel echoed, her voice rising. "What if he doesn't care? What if he's okay with Emma sidelining me?" David's expression softened. "You're his mom. He loves you. He should know what's happening, so he can decide what he wants." Rachel felt the tension in her chest ease slightly at David's words. "You're right. I can't let this go without saying something." But as the evening unfolded, the anxiety began to creep back. The backyard transformed into a scene of laughter and celebration, yet Rachel felt like a ghost hovering on the edges. She watched as Emma floated through the crowd, her charm radiating, while Rachel's heart sank deeper into uncertainty. Then, just as the sun dipped below the horizon, casting a golden hue over the gathering, Rachel overheard Emma speaking to a group of friends. "I mean, it's not like Rachel has any real say in this. It's my wedding after all." The words hit Rachel like a punch to the gut. She turned to David, eyes wide. "Did you hear that?" "Yeah," David said, a frown creasing his brow. "That's out of line." Rachel's mind raced. That moment at the backyard changed everything. She had given everything for Tyler, sacrificing her own happiness, and now it felt like she was being stripped of her role as a mother. "I can't let this stand," Rachel declared, her voice steady with newfound resolve. "I'm going to cancel everything I've paid for." "Rachel, wait!" David started, but she cut him off, determination coursing through her veins. "I won't be disrespected like this. I've poured my heart into this, and if they think they can push me aside, they're sorely mistaken." As she moved through the crowd toward Tyler, Rachel felt a mix of fear and empowerment. This was her moment to reclaim her place, not just as a mother, but as someone who deserved respect in her own family. The evening's laughter faded into the background, replaced by the steady beat of her heart, reminding her that she was stronger than she had ever realized. Rachel took a deep breath. "We need to have a serious conversation." Olivia tensed up. "About what exactly?" The morning of the wedding arrived with an unusual heaviness in the air, a stark contrast to the excitement that should have filled the house. Rachel stood in her kitchen, the smell of pancakes wafting through the space, mingling with the scent of rain on the pavement outside. She flipped the pancakes with a practiced hand, but her heart wasn't in it. Her mind raced with thoughts of Emma, her son's fiancée, and the nagging feeling that something wasn't quite right. "Mom, are you okay?" Tyler's voice broke through her thoughts. He was setting the table, his face a mixture of excitement and concern. "You seem a little off." Rachel forced a smile, but it felt brittle. "I'm fine, sweetie, just a little nervous, I suppose." She didn't want to ruin his special day, but the unease was palpable. It wasn't just about the wedding, it was about Emma. There had been whispers, small hints that suggested Emma had a past she hadn't been entirely honest about, and that nagging feeling in her gut had only grown stronger since the engagement. As they finished breakfast, Rachel's phone buzzed on the counter. It was David, her loyal friend, always there to support her. "Hey, just checking in." "Everything ready for the big day?" his text read. Rachel replied quickly, "Not sure yet. I have a bad feeling about Emma." She paused, staring at the pancakes. How could one person cast such a shadow over what should be a joyful occasion? "Trust your instincts, Rachel. You know I'm here for you," David responded, and she could almost hear his reassuring tone through the screen. Later, as they hurried to get dressed, Rachel overheard Ethan and Olivia in the living room, their voices low but sharp, tinged with the familiar undertone of tension that always seemed to accompany their interactions. "You know Rachel has always been too attached. It's unhealthy," Olivia said, her voice dripping with that insincere charm Rachel had grown to despise. "Mom's just looking out for him," Ethan replied, but there was a hint of jealousy in his tone that made Rachel's heart sink further. She had always been the one to nurture that bond with Tyler, and it irked Ethan that she was so close to him. Steeling herself, Rachel approached the living room. "What's going on?" she asked, her voice steady despite the turmoil within. "Oh, just discussing how you might want to lighten up a bit," Olivia said, a smirk playing on her lips. "Tyler is a grown man now. He doesn't need you hovering over him like a mother hen." "Yeah, maybe let him enjoy his day without your overbearing presence," Ethan added, crossing his arms. Rachel felt a surge of anger and disbelief. "You both need to back off. This is his wedding, not a chance for you to undermine my role as his mother." Olivia leaned back, feigning innocence. "Oh my God, Rachel, you're being dramatic. Can't you see that I'm just trying to help?" Rachel's heart raced as she recalled the whispers she had heard about Emma. "I can't believe you'd even say that. How can I trust you when I found out Emma was engaged before and had a fallout with her mother-in-law?" "This isn't just about you and Tyler." The room fell silent, the air thick with tension. Ethan's face paled, and Olivia's smirk faltered. "What are you talking about?" Olivia asked, her voice suddenly sharp. "I did some digging," Rachel said, her voice low but firm. "I won't let my son be part of another toxic situation. I won't let you drag him into your chaos." Olivia's eyes narrowed, and for a moment, Rachel saw the facade crack. "You have no right to interfere in his life, Rachel. You're just jealous that he's moving on." Rachel's breath caught in her throat. "Jealous? No, Olivia, I'm protective. I've sacrificed everything for his happiness, and you're trying to tear us apart." Suddenly, she felt a wave of clarity wash over her. "I think it's time to rethink this whole situation," she declared, her voice gaining strength. "Are you really going to cancel everything?" Ethan asked, disbelief etched on his face. Rachel met his gaze, her decision solidifying. "If it means protecting my son, yes, I will. I can't stand by while you both act like this is just another game." "Rachel, you're overreacting," Olivia said, her tone pleading but laced with an edge of anger. "Am I?" Rachel shot back. "Or am I finally seeing things clearly? This is about Tyler, and if Emma can't handle family dynamics now, then what happens when things get tough?" Rachel's heart raced as she turned away, knowing that she was crossing a line. But in that moment, the weight of her decision felt like a release, a surge of empowerment. She would no longer let others dictate the happiness of her family. "Mom, wait!" Tyler's voice called from the hallway. She turned to see him, his expression a mix of confusion and concern. "What's happening?" Rachel took a deep breath, preparing to explain everything. "It's complicated, honey, but I promise. I'm looking out for you." "I can't believe you did this!" Rachel exclaimed. Olivia tried to explain, but words failed him. The sun hung low in the sky, casting a golden hue over the backyard where Rachel had poured her heart and soul into preparing for her son's wedding. The sweet scent of fresh grass wafted through the air, mingling with the aroma of freshly brewed coffee that sat steaming on the porch table. Wind chimes clinked gently in the breeze, a soothing soundtrack to the flurry of activity around her. Yet, beneath the surface of this idyllic scene, Rachel felt a growing sense of unease. As she wiped her hands on a kitchen towel, her phone buzzed on the counter. It was a message from David, her longtime friend and confidant. "Hey, heard some things about Emma. You might want to sit down for this." Her heart sank at the mention of her future daughter-in-law. Rachel had always wanted to believe the best in Emma, but the idea that something was amiss made her pulse quicken. "Everything okay?" Tyler called from the backyard, where he was busy arranging flowers. "Yeah, just a message from David," Rachel replied, forcing a smile. "I'll be right out." She took a deep breath, the fresh coffee smell momentarily soothing her nerves. But as she stepped outside,
The gentle breeze did little to calm the storm brewing in her heart. Tyler looked up, his expression expectant. "What did he say?" "Oh my God, you won't believe it," Rachel said, her voice trembling slightly. "Apparently, Emma has been gossiping about me. I can't believe this is happening right before the wedding." "What? That's awful. What did she say?" Tyler leaned in, his concern palpable. Rachel hesitated, struggling to find the right words. "Just that I'm controlling and that I'm trying to steal her spotlight. Can you imagine? All I've ever wanted was for her to feel welcomed and loved." Tyler's brow furrowed. "You've done everything for her. It's not fair for her to turn this around on you." As Rachel looked at Tyler, her thoughts spiraled into a whirlwind of confusion and heartbreak. She had sacrificed so much to make this day perfect, only to find out that the very person she hoped to embrace as family saw her as an enemy. "Rachel, you deserve better than this," Tyler said firmly, a hint of anger creeping into his tone. "You've always put Ethan first, and now this? You need to stand up for yourself." Rachel's mind raced. The thought of confronting Emma was terrifying, but the betrayal cut deep. "I just don't understand why she would do this," she murmured, her heart heavy with disappointment. "Maybe she's threatened by your bond with Ethan. It's not uncommon for jealousy to rear its ugly head," Tyler suggested, his voice softening. "But that doesn't mean you should let her walk all over you. Remember how much you fought for your family." That moment on the porch changed everything for Rachel. It was as if a fog had lifted, revealing the truth behind Emma's facade. She felt a rush of anger mixed with determination. "You're right, I won't let her disrespect me any longer." With newfound resolve, Rachel took a deep breath, the wind chimes ringing in approval. "I need to confront her. This isn't just about me, it's about Ethan too. He deserves to know who he's marrying." Tyler nodded. "I'll be right by your side if you need me." As Rachel made her way to the garden, the world felt different, charged with tension and possibility. She spotted Emma laughing with some guests, her bright smile contrasting sharply with the storm in Rachel's heart. The laughter rang hollow in Rachel's ears, each giggle feeling like a jab to her pride. "Emma," Rachel called out, her voice steady despite the turmoil inside. Emma turned, her smile fading slightly as she recognized the seriousness in Rachel's tone. "Oh, hi, everything okay?" "Can we talk now?" Rachel's tone was firm, leaving no room for misunderstanding. Emma's eyes widened, and she glanced at the guests, her demeanor shifting. Sure. What's up?" Rachel led Emma to a quieter corner of the yard, where the wind chimes could still be heard, their notes a haunting reminder of the peace she once sought. "I just heard something today that broke my heart. I thought we were building a family together, but it seems like you've been saying things about me behind my back." Emma's expression turned defensive. "I don't know what you're talking about." "Don't play coy with me, Emma," Rachel said, her voice rising slightly. "I know you've been gossiping about me, that I'm controlling and trying to take the spotlight from you. I've done everything to support you." The air between them thickened, and for a moment it felt like the world had stopped. Emma opened her mouth, but no words came out. Rachel felt a flicker of triumph at having finally spoken her truth. But then Emma's eyes narrowed. "You're just being dramatic. I'm just trying to enjoy my wedding." "Your wedding?" Rachel echoed, incredulous. "This is my son's wedding, and you're making it about yourself." Emma crossed her arms, her expression defiant. "You're jealous. You don't want to let him go." Rachel's heart pounded in her chest, the betrayal stinging more than she could have anticipated. "You've twisted everything I've done for you." "You're right. This isn't just about me. It's about Ethan, and I won't let you ruin his day with your selfishness." With that declaration, Rachel felt a weight lift off her shoulders. She was finally standing up for herself, no longer a victim of Emma's games. But as she watched Emma's face contort with anger, Rachel realized that the battle was far from over. "I can't believe this," Rachel whispered in disbelief. "I can explain everything," Olivia said desperately. The sun hung low in the sky, casting a golden hue across the backyard as Rachel stood on the porch. The gentle clanging of wind chimes dancing in the breeze. The scent of fresh grass filled the air, mingling with the aroma of BBQ drifting from the grill nearby. It was supposed to be a day of celebration, but Rachel's heart felt heavy with an impending storm. "Tyler," she called out, her voice barely above a whisper, "can we talk for a minute?" Her son, dressed sharply in his wedding suit, turned from the group of friends laughing and mingling, a look of concern crossing his face. "Sure, Mom, what's up?" He walked over, the enthusiasm of the day dimmed slightly by her serious tone. Rachel took a deep breath, her mind racing with the recent events. Olivia had made a cutting remark during the rehearsal dinner that still echoed in her ears. "You know, it's great that you were a single mom, but I can't imagine how hard that must have been for you. I mean, I hope Tyler knows how lucky he is to have me now." The words had sliced through Rachel like a knife, and her heart sank further with each passing moment. "Tyler," she started, her voice steadier now, "I need you to understand something important about family. We're supposed to support each other, to stand together. This wedding isn't just about the two of you, it's about all of us." Tyler looked at her, a flicker of uncertainty crossing his face. "Mom, I know that. Olivia's great, but—" Rachel interrupted gently. "I'm not saying she isn't, but I want you to think about how she treats me. It's not just a few words, it's a pattern. I need you to see that." He shifted uncomfortably, glancing back at the group, but Rachel held his gaze, searching for understanding. "Oh my God, I can't believe this is happening. I thought I raised you to value kindness and respect. You can love her, but don't lose sight of what family means. Please." For a moment, silence enveloped them, the sound of laughter fading into the background. Tyler's brow furrowed as he processed her words, the weight of the conversation settling in. "Do you really think she means it?" he asked, a note of concern creeping into his voice. Rachel nodded, her heart swelling with both pride and fear. "I do, and if you don't pay attention, you might end up losing more than just a mother. You could lose the support of your family, the people who have always been here for you." He hesitated, looking away, and in that moment, Rachel felt a mix of hope and dread. "Mom, I don't want to ruin anything," he said softly. "Ruin? No, sweetheart. It's about standing firm. Love shouldn't mean putting up with disrespect. You deserve someone who lifts you up, not someone who belittles your past." As she spoke, a breeze swept across the porch, the wind chimes tinkling like distant laughter. Rachel could see the gears turning in Tyler's mind, and for the first time, she sensed a shift in his loyalty. "I'll think about it, I promise," he finally said, his voice steady. "Just think about what family means to you, Tyler. It's worth it." With a nod, he turned back to join his friends, and Rachel felt a flicker of hope ignite within her. She had planted a seed, and she could only wait to see if it would grow. But as she stood there, watching him interact with Olivia, a rush of anxiety washed over her. On the porch, it hurt like strength. She could sense the tension in the air, the unspoken words that hung heavy between them. David appeared beside her, his presence a steadying force. "How did it go?" he asked, concern etched on his face. "It felt like progress," Rachel replied, her eyes still on Tyler. "But I can't shake the feeling that Olivia is trying to pull him away from me." "Keep your head up, you've raised him right. He'll see through her eventually," David assured her, placing a comforting hand on her shoulder. Rachel smiled weakly, grateful for his support. But as the laughter from the wedding party bubbled back to life, she couldn't help but feel a surge of protectiveness. Olivia's barbs had cut deep, and she refused to let them ruin this day. With renewed determination, Rachel took a deep breath, savoring the smell of BBQ wafting through the air. She would not back down. This was her family, and she would fight for it, whatever it took. Rachel clenched her fists. "I don't want to hear any more excuses." Olivia hung his head. I'm truly sorry." Rachel's heart raced as she looked at Olivia, who stood a few feet away, her expression hardening into a mask of defiance. "Truly sorry?" Rachel echoed, disbelief coloring her tone. "Is that all you have to say after everything?" Olivia crossed her arms, her posture defensive. "I didn't mean to upset you, Rachel. I thought we were past that." "Past that?" Rachel laughed bitterly, the sound sharp against the backdrop of the cheerful gathering. "You've made it clear where you stand. You can't just brush it off like it doesn't matter." Tyler's laughter rang out from the group, a sound that both warmed and broke Rachel's heart. She wanted to shield him from the harshness she felt creeping in. "This is not just about you and me, Olivia. You're marrying into this family, and if you can't respect that, then what?" Olivia challenged, her voice rising, catching the attention of a few nearby guests. "You'll make Tyler choose? This is ridiculous." Rachel took a step closer, her resolve hardening. "It's about loyalty and love. If you can't show me that, then I have every right to be concerned for my son." The wind chimes tinkled, a dissonant melody to the tension hanging in the air. Rachel felt a bead of sweat trickle down her back, the warmth of the sun now feeling oppressive. She caught David's eye, and he gave her a small nod of encouragement. "Rachel, I didn't mean to hurt you. I just want to be part of this family," Olivia said, her voice losing some of its edge. "Then act like it," Rachel shot back, surprising even herself with the fierceness in her words. She felt a surge of adrenaline. This was a fight she had to win, not just for herself, but for Tyler. "Mom, can we just—" Tyler's voice cut through the tension, and he stepped forward, concern etched on his face. "I don't want this to become a scene." Rachel turned to him, her heart softening at the sight of his worried expression. "I'm sorry, honey. Let's focus on the wedding, okay? It's supposed to be a happy day," he urged, glancing nervously between the two women. With a heavy sigh, Rachel nodded, but the fire inside her flickered. She wouldn't let this go. She couldn't. She had to keep her family safe, no matter the cost. The sun was just beginning to rise, casting a warm glow over the porch where Rachel sat, a steaming cup of fresh coffee cradled in her hands. The aroma of the rich brew mingled with the sounds of birds chirping. Preserve the original language that felt almost serene. Yet the tension in the air was palpable, a stark contrast to the beauty of the morning. Rachel's heart sank as she recalled the events of the previous evening. Emma's words had cut deep, her biting remarks leaving a wound that had yet to heal. She had spent years nurturing her son, pouring her heart and soul into his happiness, only to feel disrespected and belittled at a moment that was supposed to celebrate love. Just then, David strolled onto the porch, his expression one of concern. "Hey, you okay?" he asked, taking a seat beside her. The warmth of his presence was a small comfort amidst the chaos. Rachel shook her head, her voice barely above a whisper. "I can't believe she said that about me, David. I thought we were past this." "I know, but you need to stand up for yourself," he urged, his eyes steady on her. "You've done so much for Tyler, and you deserve respect in return." Taking a deep breath, Rachel leaned forward, resting her elbows on her knees. It hurts. I tried so hard to make her feel welcomed, and then she turns around and insults me in front of everyone." "Rachel," David said softly, "you are an amazing mother. You've given everything to Tyler, and you shouldn't let Emma's words define you." The weight of his words hung in the air, and Rachel reflected on the years of sacrifice she had made. Cultural reflection. In the porch, it hurt like hope. As if sensing her turmoil, Olivia chose that moment to step outside. Her presence was like a cold breeze, immediately chilling the atmosphere. "I'm glad to see you both enjoying the morning," she said, her voice dripping with false sweetness. Rachel straightened, a fire igniting within her. "This isn't just a casual morning, Olivia. We need to talk about what happened yesterday." Olivia feigned ignorance, crossing her arms.
Oh, come on. Emma was just being honest. You can't expect everyone to adore you. Honest? Rachel's voice rose, fueled by a mix of anger and hurt. There's a difference between honesty and cruelty. She made a point to undermine me in front of everyone, and I won't stand for it. Olivia raised an eyebrow, a smug smile playing on her lips. I think you need to realize that not everyone is going to see you as the perfect mother. Maybe it's time you faced that truth. Rachel clenched her fists, feeling the heat rise in her chest. I've worked so hard to be there for Tyler. I sacrificed my own dreams for his happiness. And for what? To be disrespected by his bride? Rachel, you need to calm down, David interjected, sensing the brewing storm. This isn't going to solve anything. But Rachel felt a surge of resolve. No, it's time I stop being the doormat. If she can't respect me, then maybe I don't need to support this wedding. Oh my God, you can't be serious, Olivia scoffed, but Rachel could see the flicker of uncertainty in her eyes. I'm dead serious, Rachel replied, her voice firm. I won't pay for a wedding where I'm treated like an outsider. I've poured my heart into this family, and I deserve to be treated with dignity. David nodded, encouraging her with a supportive smile. You have every right to feel this way, Rachel. It's your son's wedding, but it's also your life. As the tension mounted, Rachel caught a glimpse of Emma approaching from the house, her expression a mix of defiance and something else, a vulnerability that wasn't there before. Rachel, Emma began, her voice shaky, can we talk? I didn't mean it the way it sounded. Rachel's defenses were still high, but there was a crack in Emma's facade. What do you mean? She asked, her curiosity piqued despite the hurt. I'm scared, Emma confessed, her voice barely above a whisper. I want to be accepted by you and feel like part of your family, but I didn't know how to express that. Rachel blinked, taken aback. The anger that had fueled her moments ago began to wane as she looked into Emma's eyes. Reflection. That moment at the porch changed everything. Are you saying you felt threatened by me? Rachel asked, her tone softening. Emma nodded slowly. I thought if I put you down, it would somehow make me feel better about myself, but it didn't. I just ended up feeling worse. Rachel's heart ached at the sincerity in Emma's voice. I never wanted you to feel that way. I want us to be a family. Really? Emma asked, surprise evident on her face. Of course, Rachel replied, her own vulnerability surfacing. But it has to be based on respect. I want to support you and Tyler, but I need you to understand where I'm coming from too. As the morning light bathed the porch in warmth, Rachel felt a shift, a fragile but hopeful bridge forming between them. Maybe this wedding could still be a celebration, not just of Tyler and Emma, but of a newfound understanding and acceptance. And for the first time in a long while, Rachel felt a flicker of hope for the future. Enough, Rachel shouted, her voice echoing. Please let me speak, Olivia pleaded. There's nothing left to say, Rachel finalized. The sound of wind chimes danced through the air, a gentle reminder of what should have been a joyous occasion. Rachel stood in her living room, the faint smell of rain on the pavement seeping through the slightly open window. It had been a long journey to this day, one filled with hope, dreams, and the weight of a mother's love. But now, all she felt was a profound emptiness. As she watched the wedding decorations fluttering outside in the breeze, her heart sank. It wasn't just the decorations, it was everything that had led up to this moment. She had poured her soul into planning the perfect day for her son, Tyler, and his bride, Emma. Yet now, the joy was overshadowed by the sting of Olivia's cutting remarks during the reception. The way Olivia had smirked, the way she had dismissed Rachel's feelings, it cut deeper than any blade. Can you believe what just happened? Rachel whispered to herself, the words feeling heavy in the silence of the room. The echo of Olivia's insults rang in her ears, each syllable a reminder of the tension that had always existed between them. I can't believe this, she murmured, shaking her head as if trying to shake off the bitter reality. David, her loyal friend, had been by her side throughout the wedding chaos, but even he couldn't have prepared her for that moment. He had sensed her heartbreak, and now he stood at the threshold of the living room, concern etched across his face. "Rachel, are you okay?" he asked softly, stepping inside as the wind chimes rang in the background, an eerie soundtrack to her emotional turmoil. "No, David, I'm not okay," Rachel replied, her voice breaking slightly. "Olivia she insulted me in front of everyone. I've sacrificed so much for this family." And she just tossed it aside like it meant nothing. The pain in her chest felt like a heavy weight, a burden she had been carrying alone for far too long. "Maybe you need to talk to Tyler," David suggested gently, but Rachel shook her head, feeling the bitterness rise. "What's the point? He's so caught up in his own happiness, he wouldn't understand. He's always been her favorite, you know? She trailed off, the words escaping her as she looked out the window at the gathering guests, the laughter and chatter only amplifying her isolation. Cultural reflection. In the living room, it hurt like heartbreak. Rachel thought about all the times she had bent over backward to keep peace, all the times she had put her son's happiness before her own, and yet, standing here now, it felt like nothing mattered. It was a stark reminder that love, even familial love, could sometimes come with a cost. "Rachel, listen," David said, breaking through her spiraling thoughts. "You've done so much for Tyler. You deserve respect, especially today. Don't let her take that away from you." His words resonated, but the weight of tradition and family loyalty felt like a chain around her heart. Rachel sighed deeply, the smell of pancakes from earlier still lingering in her mind. Those pancakes had been a symbol of warmth and love, but now they felt tainted, a reminder of how quickly joy could turn into despair. She needed to make a choice, one that would define her not just as a mother, but as a woman who deserved respect. "I can't just let it go," Rachel finally said, determination rising within her. "I've already paid for everything, the venue, the food, the flowers. I can't just act like nothing happened. If my son's wedding is going to be a battlefield, then I won't be a casualty." David nodded, understanding her resolve. "You have every right to stand up for yourself. This day is about love, and love should never come with conditions." As she stood there, surrounded by the remnants of what should have been a perfect day, Rachel felt a spark ignite within her. It was time to reclaim her voice, to remind everyone, including herself, that respect was a fundamental part of love. "Okay then, I'll cancel everything," Rachel declared, her voice steady. "If Olivia thinks she can disrespect me at my son's wedding, then she can deal with the consequences." Rachel's heart was still heavy, but she felt lighter somehow, empowered by her decision. It was a painful choice, but it was necessary. She stepped outside, feeling the cool breeze against her skin as she walked toward the gathering, ready to face her son and his bride. In the dance of family, we must learn that love is a two-way street. At my son's wedding, respect should reign supreme. The words echoed in her mind, a mantra she would carry with her. As she approached the group, she felt a sense of clarity wash over her. "Tyler, can we talk?" she called out, her voice firm. The laughter faded, and all eyes turned to her, the moment heavy with anticipation. "And you, on your porch, what do you value more, love or respect?" Rachel smiled for the first time in days. "Everything will be okay." Olivia nodded. "You're stronger than you know."